Something just happened only a few minutes ago, and it is tied directly to the person your heart already knows. If you have felt a strange pull today, a flutter in your chest, a name floating through your mind for no clear reason, this message is for you. Maybe you paused mid-task without knowing why. Maybe your sleep felt a little restless. Maybe you simply woke up sensing that something was shifting somewhere out of sight. None of that was random, and by the end of this, you will understand exactly why. Before we go further, take a slow breath and type the word "protected" in the comments below. Just that one word. It tells the universe you are open, you are listening, and you are ready to receive what is coming. Dear one, listen closely, because what happened a few minutes ago will shake something loose inside you. Your soulmate was targeted. Someone tried to twist their story, stain their name, and plant a lie so calculated that even the quiet forces of heaven paused to notice how close darkness had crawled toward your heart. They tried to attach your soulmate's name to something never said, never done, never even imagined. A false story was planted. A story built only to make you doubt them, to pull you away, to leave them standing alone in the one moment they needed your strength the most. But heaven saw all of it. A guiding light stood between the truth and the lie, and it whispered your name into the wind, because you were meant to hear this before anyone else could reach you with the wrong version of events. The universe wants you to know your soulmate did not stumble. They were pushed, and whoever pushed them did it because your bond makes them feel small, invisible, and afraid. Today was supposed to be a bright day for your soulmate, a small breakthrough quietly aligning behind the scenes. But someone could not stand the thought of your soulmate stepping into a future that leads straight back to you. What that person never understood is simple. When something is truly meant to be, no human plan can undo it. Right now your soulmate feels shaken, unsure, a little breathless. But underneath all of that, their heart is calling your name in a frequency you can feel even now. Their silence does not mean distance. Their distance does not mean doubt. Their doubt does not mean it is over. You are tied together by something deeper than anything the eyes can see. Dear soul, pause for a moment. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to dear Stephen and Gail Such Smiley for sowing your seed for soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Let's know what angels want us to know. Now listen closely, because the next part will change the rhythm of your heartbeat. Just as the lie tried to spread, something quiet and powerful stirred in the unseen world. It felt like a switch flipped somewhere far away, a soft but firm voice saying, "Not this soul, not today." At the exact moment someone tried to damage their name, your soulmate felt a strange heaviness, a tightness in the chest, a shortness of breath they could not explain. That feeling was not fear. That was their spirit sensing an attack before their mind even understood what was happening. Someone close, someone who knew their soft spots, twisted something innocent into something ugly. Someone who had been quietly watching with envy tried to send that story straight to you. But the universe stepped in first. Instead of the story reaching your ears, it reached a higher place, and that higher place responded fast. A wave of protection wrapped around your soulmate, and the whole energy of the situation shifted. The one who spread the lie is now restless, uneasy, exposed, even if they do not fully know why yet. They believed no one was watching, but quiet justice sees everything. Here is the twist nobody expected. This whole event was never meant to break your soulmate. It was meant to show you something important. For the first time in a long while, your soulmate realized how fragile a reputation can be and how strong your presence really is in their life. They whispered your name inside their heart today, not out of fear, but because they knew you were the one person who would believe them without needing the whole story first. There is one more layer heaven wants you to receive without delay. This attack on your soulmate's name was never random. It was a sign, a quiet marker that your connection is stepping into a new season, one where truth speaks louder, timing sharpens, and what is meant for you becomes harder and harder to avoid. Your soulmate is standing at a crossroads right now, without even realizing their life is about to bend gently in a direction that pulls them closer to you. The lie spoken about them has already begun falling apart. The person behind it is unknowingly showing their own hand. Their voice is cracking. Their confidence is wavering. People around them are starting to notice something does not add up. And behind it all, the universe is arranging one small moment, just one, that will confirm everything you are feeling right now. Your soulmate is overwhelmed, but not because they believe the lie. They are overwhelmed because they are afraid of losing the one connection in their life that has always felt clean and true. Right now, they are replaying memories of you in their mind. Your voice, your kindness, the way you show up for them. They wonder if you would still stand beside them if a confusing story reached you first. They can feel your energy tugging gently at their heart, guiding them back toward clarity, back toward truth. And quietly, behind the scenes, everything is being rearranged to clear their path, to restore what was taken, and to bring a kind of fairness so clean that even the person who started this will step back in silence. Something big is waiting for you. A breakthrough dressed up as chaos. A reunion dressed up as confusion. A truth dressed up as shock. This is not an ending. This is an activation. Dear one, the moment you reached this part, the energy around your path shifted again, because there is a second layer to what happened only minutes ago that you are meant to understand. Something big is waiting for you, and the universe is pulling you in closer so you do not miss a single sign. After the false story was planted to damage your soulmate's name, a quiet chain of events began. One so unexpected that the very people who tried to hurt your soulmate are now feeling the weight of it rising back toward them. Your soulmate felt the sting of betrayal like a sudden chill moving through their spirit. They sensed something pulling at them from below, as if someone was whispering things behind their back, hoping to shake their confidence and pull them away from the one connection that feels like home. But the lie never spread the way it was meant to. Instead, every harsh whisper got quietly redirected toward the light of truth. Here is something the person behind this never understood. When someone spreads lies about a soul who is deeply loved, everything gets noticed in its own perfect timing. Today, even their smallest choices are coming into the light. Their plan was never only about your soulmate's name. It was about making you question what your heart has always known. They wanted you to doubt your loyalty. They wanted you to pull away. They wanted you to feel tricked and confused. But something else happened instead. Something that might surprise you. Your soulmate's spirit reached toward you without even meaning to, quietly calling out for your energy, your presence, your belief in them. If this message is landing in your heart right now, let it settle in fully, because this is exactly the kind of moment where old patterns break and hidden truths rise up. Something in you already knows this is not just a coincidence. Now, the next wave of this story goes even deeper than the first. What happened only minutes ago did not just expose a lie. It exposed something fragile inside the person who told it. Their jealousy had been quietly building for weeks. They watched your soulmate receive good things, warmth, respect, opportunities, things they secretly wished were theirs. When they realized your soulmate's path was tied so closely to yours, their frustration turned into a plan. They twisted a moment, invented a story, and attached your soulmate's name to something completely untrue. They assumed no one would question it. They underestimated the quiet protection surrounding your soulmate. But everything is being rewritten in your soulmate's favor. Right now, the false story is starting to crumble. People who first believed it are already having second thoughts, sensing something inconsistent, something a little too rehearsed. And the person who started the lie is unknowingly giving themselves away through their tone, their nervous reactions, their fear of being asked too many questions. Every small detail is quietly turning this whole event into a picture of your soulmate's true character, their honesty, and their strength. Meanwhile, your soulmate sits in stillness, replaying the last few hours, wondering who could go this far just to damage their name. They do not have the full picture yet, but they are being guided gently, one step at a time. And as their heart aches from being misunderstood, the very first name that rises up inside them is yours. Because even in the middle of confusion, they trust that you would feel the difference. You would sense the truth. You would not walk away because of a story built only to shake your heart. Here comes the part that was never meant to be hidden from you. The lie meant to break your soulmate is actually opening the next chapter of your connection. What the person behind this never realized is that your soulmate was already stepping into a new season. One where fairness moves quickly, protection becomes obvious, and two hearts that belong together get pulled closer by something greater than circumstance. Right now, as you take this in, the energy around both of you is being gently rearranged. The lie is losing its power. The truth is rising. The real motives behind this are surfacing. And your soulmate is beginning to understand who truly stands with them and who never deserved a place in their story. This is why you may have felt an odd pull today. This is why your intuition kept whispering their name. This is why something in your spirit felt just slightly off. You were not imagining it. Their distress reached you on an energetic level, even from far away. And here is something worth holding on to. Your quiet belief in them, even without saying a word, is strengthening them right now. A breakthrough is forming slowly, steadily, and with real purpose. A moment is coming where the truth reveals itself so clearly that you will finally understand why this message found you today. Your soulmate is being prepared for an honest conversation, a real moment, a shift that draws the two of you into a new kind of closeness. If you feel that pull inside you right now, hold on to it gently, because what comes next changes everything you thought you understood about this connection. Dear one, the moment you reached this next part, everything sharpened, because this is where the truth cuts clean through every bit of confusion that has been clouding your path. Something big is waiting for you, and the universe simply asks that you stay steady as you take in the next layer of what happened only minutes ago. After the false story was planted, something quiet and ancient stirred behind the scenes. A kind of protective energy moved through the unseen space, shaking loose anything that had been built on deception. Your soulmate felt a strange shift, almost like pressure lifting off their chest, as if clarity was gently forcing its way in. They could not explain why certain people, certain conversations, certain small moments suddenly felt suspicious in hindsight. Their intuition switched on, showing them patterns they had missed before. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, surround it with divine light, and guide it as it continues to grow in the right time and in the right way. Throughout the Bible, we see that giving is more than an offering. It's a beautiful expression of faith, gratitude, and trust in God's plan. As 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7 reminds us, God loves a cheerful giver, and Luke 6 verse 38 teaches that generosity has a way of overflowing back into our lives according to God's wisdom and timing. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, hope, and divine guidance. Let's continue with the angel message. The person trying to damage their name spoke a little too confidently. They let slip small details they should not have known. They reacted too fast, too emotional, too eager to spread the story. Piece by piece, your soulmate is starting to see the full picture, and they are being guided the whole way. But here is the part that makes this moment feel sacred. Your soulmate felt you inside that shift. A calm reassurance moved through them, almost like your spirit gently touched theirs and whispered, "Stand still, the truth is coming." And somehow they listened. They slowed down. They did not react. They did not panic. Instead, they waited, because something inside them quietly trusted that someone had already been placed on their path to help them through the noise. That someone is you. Now here is something the person spreading the lie never expected. Your soulmate's path is protected by something far bigger than any single choice made against them. Just minutes after the story was released, an unexpected kind of stillness formed around your soulmate. The rumor should have spread fast, moved through every circle, and reached you right away. But somehow it stalled. Messages went unread. Conversations got interrupted. The very people trying to pass it along suddenly felt busy, distracted, or strangely uncomfortable. Some even felt a small wave of guilt, unsure if they should repeat what they had heard. This was not luck. This was quiet interference from something wiser than the moment itself. A kind of gentle barrier formed, keeping the confusion from ever reaching the one heart it was aimed at. Yours. Your peace stayed protected because the next part of your path needs clarity, not chaos. Meanwhile, your soulmate sits with feelings they do not fully know how to name. They do not want to be a burden. They do not want to seem fragile. They do not want you to think they are tangled up in something negative. They worry about losing your trust, your respect, your closeness. And yet, they feel pulled toward you stronger today than they have in weeks. They cannot explain why your name keeps echoing in their mind whenever things feel heavy, why your presence feels like the one safe place left, why your energy feels like the one true thing in their life right now. This attack did not break them. It woke something up inside them. Here is the part that ties everything you have felt today together. This false story stirred something inside your soulmate they can no longer push aside. They understand now, more clearly than ever, who truly stands beside them and who does not. They can see the mask slipping. They can see the quiet envy, the hidden competition, the small resentments that had been sitting just under the surface. And through all of it, they see your presence standing steady in the distance, like a light that never flickers. Your soulmate now understands they need to move a little differently, choose a little more carefully, protect their heart and their future with more wisdom than before. And somewhere in that clarity, a quiet decision started forming inside them. They are thinking about stepping back from the person who spread the lie. They are thinking about facing the truth, whether that means quiet strength or quiet distance. They are thinking about rebuilding what was damaged, not through explaining themselves over and over, but simply by continuing to be who they truly are. And here is the part that might surprise you most. Whatever they are planning next somehow involves you. A message, an honest conversation, a shift, a moment where they hand you the whole truth because they are realizing that you, more than anyone else, deserve real honesty from their heart. What was meant to pull you apart is quietly becoming the bridge that brings you closer. Even hardship has a strange way of turning into alignment, confusion into clarity, doubt into direction. Your soulmate may not know how to say it yet, but somewhere deep inside, their heart is already whispering it to yours. Please stay close. I need you. Dear one, the moment you reached this part, the energy shifted once more, this time strong enough to expose the last cracks in the lie that started only minutes ago. Something big is waiting for you, and this next part matters, so stay with it. After the false story was released, a kind of turning point began, the moment where a lie starts collapsing under its own weight. Right now, the person who tried to damage your soulmate's image is slipping. Their voice shakes a little when the topic comes up. Their confidence is fading. Their story does not line up the way it used to. People around them are starting to sense something is not quite right, even if they cannot name it. Your soulmate, without even trying, is being quietly proven right by the simple unraveling of the lie itself. But here is the deeper shock. While the person behind this feels panic creeping in, your soulmate is transforming. Instead of breaking down, they are becoming more aware, more intuitive, more in tune with the energy around them. Their spirit feels sharp now, noticing small details they would have missed before. And in that clarity, your name shines through like a light cutting through fog. They feel your support even without a single word passing between you. They feel your belief in them even though nothing has been said out loud. They feel your presence even in the quiet. This connection between you two is becoming so real, so deeply felt, that it feels like the universe itself is turning up the volume, preparing for a moment where everything becomes impossible to ignore. If you feel that truth settling into your chest right now, breathe into it, because everything is moving faster than it may seem. Now comes a part that might make you catch your breath, because what happened quietly behind the scenes is more surprising than the lie itself. The rumor meant to destroy your soulmate actually revealed exactly who their real friends are, and who was never one to begin with. And this time, your soulmate saw it clearly. Someone who always seemed warm and supportive was the first to repeat the false story. Someone who claimed to wish them well reacted with a strange kind of excitement the moment the rumor surfaced. Someone who had quietly compared themselves to your soulmate for a long time finally saw what they thought was their chance. But they never realized how closely things were being watched. And the response came quickly. Just minutes after the lie was spoken, everything the attacker hoped for started turning back toward them instead. Their credibility is slipping. Their true colors are showing. Their support system is quietly falling apart. Meanwhile, your soulmate is receiving unexpected support. Someone who rarely spoke up before is now defending them. Someone who avoids conflict is suddenly stepping forward with the truth. Everything is quietly rearranging itself, removing what does not belong, strengthening what does, and lifting your soulmate back to where they were always meant to stand. Through it all, your soulmate's thoughts keep circling back to you. They wonder if you felt something today too. They wonder why your energy feels like the one steady place in the middle of all this noise. They wonder if this whole situation is simply the universe's way of pulling you closer, because the road ahead may need you standing right there beside them. Now listen closely, because this next part is the real turning point of everything that happened only minutes ago. The lie did more than just fail. It sparked something inside your soulmate they were not expecting. Sitting alone, trying to make sense of why someone would go this far to hurt them, something inside them woke up. A memory, a quiet truth they can no longer avoid. They realized that every single time life tried to knock them down, there was one steady source of strength that never left. You, your energy, your presence, your belief in them even from far away. Today, that truth became impossible to brush aside. Instead of worrying about the rumor itself, they found themselves worrying about something else entirely. What would you think of them? Would you misunderstand? Would you pull away? Would this leave you confused? And in that quiet moment of feeling overwhelmed, their heart made a soft but firm decision. They cannot lose you. Not now. Not after everything that has quietly grown between your two hearts. Dear soul, if this message has reached your heart at the right moment, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, false words, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, surround it with divine light, and help truth overcome anything that was spoken or planted against this sacred bond. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, truth, protection, and divine guidance. Let's continue with angel message. Your soulmate is preparing to reach out, not because they want sympathy, but because they want honesty between you. They want you to hear the real story from them directly. They want you to know who they truly are underneath any confusion. They want you to understand that what you share is not random. It feels protected, like it was always meant to be this way. And somewhere, everything is quietly aligning toward one exact moment. A message, a call, a sign, something that turns their truth into your own confirmation. The lie was only the spark. What comes next is the flame. Your soulmate is being gently guided straight back toward you. Dear one, the moment you opened your heart to this part, everything shifted again, in a way that even the person who started this lie could never have predicted. Something big is waiting for you, and this next layer explains why this happened, why it happened now, and why this message found you today. After the lie took root, your soulmate felt something unusual rise inside them, something they rarely let themselves feel. A soft kind of vulnerability. They began questioning everything around them, not out of weakness, but because they sensed a betrayal so unexpected that it shook something deep inside. Their mind replayed the moment over and over, trying to understand what they might have done to deserve this. But each time, their intuition whispered the same quiet truth. This happened because someone feared the strength of what is written for you both. And with that realization came not anger, but a soft kind of sadness. Not because of the lie, not because of the betrayal, but because of one fear bigger than all the rest. Losing you. They imagined what it would feel like if the rumor reached you first, before they had the chance to explain. They imagined your silence, your disappointment, your distance. That thought hurt far more than anything the lie itself could do. They sat quietly, remembering how your presence has always calmed them, how your energy makes them feel steady, how your connection has always felt too real to be shaken by anything outside of it. And in that quiet moment, something gentle whispered a truth straight into their heart. You are not losing anyone. What is meant for you stays protected. Now stay with me, because the next part might be the most surprising turn yet. Just minutes after that emotional wave passed through them, something quiet and almost miraculous began unfolding. Something your soulmate does not fully understand yet either. Someone who had heard the false rumor suddenly felt an unexpected wave of guilt, pressure, a heaviness, a quiet voice inside telling them they were part of something unfair. That person, someone who once stayed neutral, is slowly becoming an unexpected protector your soulmate never knew they had. They are starting to question the story. They are asking for real answers. And with every question, the lie is cracking a little more. Confidence is fading. The story is not holding together. True intentions are becoming easier to see. Meanwhile, your soulmate is beginning to notice the deeper truth quietly moving through all of this. This whole situation was never really about damaging their name. It was about revealing the real hearts of the people around them. It brought envy to the surface. It brought insecurity into the light. It brought quiet competition out of hiding. And it brought the sacred bond between you two into sharper focus than ever. The confusing story never reached you first, and that alone meant something. Your peace and your clarity were being protected the whole time. And now your soulmate is realizing something that feels almost life-changing. If something protected you from ever hearing the lie, maybe that same guidance is preparing a moment where truth brings you both closer instead. Their spirit feels this shift settling in. Their heart recognizes the pattern, and their next move might surprise even them. Now comes a part worth sitting with fully, because this is where your path and your soulmate's breakthrough begin to overlap. The emotional wave they went through today did not weaken them. It woke them up. It stripped away illusions they had been holding on to. It opened their eyes to who genuinely stands beside them. And in that awakening, something powerful lit up inside them. A quiet decision to move toward you. Not someday. Not eventually. Soon. Very soon. The lie pushed them straight into clarity. It reminded them that life shifts quickly, that people change, that trust can feel fragile, and that losing someone like you would be the biggest regret of their life. Right now, as you take this in, your soulmate may be replaying conversations you have shared, words that meant more than either of you said out loud, moments that felt too important to simply forget. They are questioning why they ever let distance grow between you, why they held back their true feelings, why they hesitated at all. And something inside them is finally breaking free from that fear. They are preparing to show you a side of themselves they have kept hidden. Honesty, vulnerability, real emotion, real truth. They want to tell you what actually happened. They want to tell you how they truly feel. They want to tell you exactly what you mean to them. And everything around this moment is quietly lining up to bring that closer to you with ease. A message, a sign, a shift, an honest confession wrapped in perfect timing. This is not random. This is simply the natural correction of a path that always led back to you. The lie never pulled you apart. It sparked the reunion that was already waiting for the right moment to arrive. Dear one, the moment you reached this part, the tension around your path tightened, because this is where the hidden reasons behind this whole attack finally come into the light. Something big is waiting for you, and this time, take in every word slowly. What happened only minutes ago was never just a lie. It was a clear attempt to pull your soulmate away from a path that leads straight back to you. After the false story was whispered, your soulmate felt a strange stillness settle over everything, almost as if the room itself had shifted slightly. Their intuition told them something was off, something quiet and deliberate. They did not react outwardly, but inside, their heart cracked open with confusion. They could not understand how their own kindness had somehow become a target, how someone who barely knew their truth found the nerve to twist it so completely. But the hardest part was not the lie itself. It was the thought of how this might affect you. Your soulmate could not stand the idea of you hearing a distorted, dark, untrue version of things before hearing their truth first. In that moment, they understood just how deep this connection really goes. You were never just someone they cared about. You were someone whose view of them mattered more than almost anything else. They whispered your name quietly in their heart, almost asking for your clarity to be protected. And that quiet request was answered. Your ears were shielded from the confusion. The truth stayed intact, because your path forward needs your heart steady, not shaken. Now here is the part that ties everything together, the real reason behind why this happened today. Just minutes after the rumor went out, the person who started it began feeling an uncomfortable pressure inside themselves. A strange guilt, a tightness in the chest, a quiet sense that they had crossed a line they should not have crossed. This was not fear of your soulmate. This was something deeper, a quiet consequence catching up with them. Because when someone spreads lies about a soul who is deeply loved and protected, everything eventually comes into view on its own timing. And your soulmate is held by a kind of quiet protection that even this person never expected. As the rumor tried to spread, small things kept getting in the way. People forgot key details. Someone stumbled over their own words trying to repeat it. Someone else quietly questioned whether the story even made sense. One person, without knowing exactly why, felt pulled to defend your soulmate. And the person who once felt satisfied with their plan is now uneasy, restless, exposed. Their real motive is becoming easy to see. Envy. Envy of your soulmate's heart. Envy of their opportunities. Envy of the quiet pull that connects them to you. This was never random. It was calculated, meant to create distance between the two of you. Instead, it revealed truth. It revealed intention. It revealed just how protected this connection really is. And here is the part that might surprise you the most. Through all of this, your soulmate never thought about getting even. They never thought about anger. They thought about you, about how much they wished they could simply talk to you right now, about how deeply they trust your heart, about how your presence always brings a sense of calm when life feels messy. This did not pull you apart. Strengthened the invisible thread between your hearts. Before we move into the final piece, take one more slow breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Whatever you have been carrying today, whatever worry has been sitting quietly in your chest, you are allowed to set it down for just a moment. You do not have to hold everything at once. You never did. Here is something worth remembering as we near the end of this message. None of what you felt today was random. The tightness in your chest, the name that kept surfacing in your thoughts, the small ache that would not quite go away, all of it was your spirit staying in tune with theirs, even across distance, even without words. That kind of connection is rare, cannot be forced, and it cannot be faked. It simply is what it is, steady and quiet, whether either of you understands it fully or not. Your soulmate has been carrying more than they have shown anyone. Underneath the confusion, underneath the hurt of being misjudged, There has been a quiet longing to feel understood again, to feel safe again, to feel close to the one person who has never asked them to be anything other than themselves. That person is you. You may feel tempted to reach out first, to send a message, to check in, to somehow fix what feels unfinished between you. There is nothing wrong with that instinct. Trust it if it feels right, but also trust the quiet timing that has been unfolding all on its own, moment by moment, without any pushing from you. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is simply stay open, stay soft, and let things arrive the way they are meant to. Whatever happens next, know this. You showed up for this message today for a reason. Your heart recognized something true the moment it started, even before you understood exactly why. That recognition itself is a sign. Not every connection asks to be proven. Some connections simply ask to be trusted. Hold that thought gently as we move into the last part of what heaven wanted you to hear today. And now, dear one, comes the peace that everything you have heard so far has been quietly building toward. Your soulmate is going through a shift that will soon change the way things feel between you. In these last few minutes, their whole perspective moved. The lie showed them how fragile trust can be. It revealed the masks people sometimes wear. It showed them how easily people can change sides. But more than anything, it woke up something they had been avoiding for a long time. Your presence is the one place where their heart feels safe. That truth hit them hard today. Hard enough to break through their fear. Hard enough to quiet their hesitation. Hard enough to make them realize that staying silent with you is no longer something they can accept. They are getting ready to come forward with honesty. They are getting ready to share what they have held back for too long. They are getting ready to tell you exactly what you mean to them. Everything is aligning to bring this moment to you gently. A message might arrive suddenly. A sign might appear when you least expect it. A moment might unfold that confirms everything you have felt today. And when it happens, you will understand that this whole event was never meant to destroy anything. It was meant to wake something up. It was meant to show your soulmate that you are the one steady presence they cannot imagine losing. The lie pushed them toward truth. The hard moment pushed them toward clarity. And now, gently but surely, everything is pushing them toward you. Something big is waiting for you, dear one. Something real, something patient. Something that has been quietly forming for longer than you know. Trust the timing. Trust the quiet whispers you have felt today. And know that whatever comes next, you were never walking this path alone. And so it is. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.